Iran is in rebellion. One of the biggest news stories worldwide of 2018, yet the American mainstream media is simply ignoring it, acting like it's not happening at all. Since Donald Trump withdrew from the Iran nuclear deal, Iran has faced economic collapse. Their currency has dropped over 50%. Inflation inside of Iran in the last 3 months alone is over 100%. Well over 100%. On Monday, this last Monday, there was the first major protest in the Iranian capital of Tehran in over 5 years. It took place in what's called the Grand Bazaar, which is the largest shopping district in all of Iran. The traders closed up their shops, went on strike, and took to the streets. They were joined by thousands of Iranians, and what they were chanting was, "We don't want incompetent government. Death to Rouhani." That's the president of Iran. They were also chanting, "Death to the regime," as well as "Syria and Palestine are only causing trouble." The Iranians have seen inflation inside their country at over 100% over the last 2 months alone, since Donald Trump withdrew from the Iranian nuclear deal. There was also 80 protests around the country on Monday, not just limited to Tehran. There's also a trucker strike going on in Iran, where almost every trucker in the country has parked their truck and refuses to drive because they cannot afford the gasoline. Think about that. The truckers have stopped driving in Iran because they cannot afford gasoline, which is Iran's largest asset. The thousands of protesters in Iran marched from the market, the Grand Bazaar, all the way to the parliamentary building, where thousands of protesters who were chanting, "Enough is enough. Iranians, show some spine." And these types of protests, in the last few months alone, over 25 people were killed and 5,000 Iranians have been arrested by the regime. Why hasn't any of this been on the mainstream media? I think it's very newsworthy. If you look at media around the world, it's all over their media outlets. I'll put some links down below. After North Korea, Iran was the biggest threat to America, and the country that Donald Trump has signified he's taking on next. Shouldn't at least one journalist out of the thousands of the American mainstream media be covering this story? Be covering what's going on in Iran? Is there any actual journalists left in all of the mainstream media? Oh, wait. This would actually make Donald Trump look good. And the globalist hacks that control the media never want to do that. So they're just ignoring it. This is one of the largest news stories of the year, yet the mainstream media is just ignoring it. These protests are a direct result of Donald Trump's hardline stance against the Iranian regime. Mike Pompeo just last week tweeted out how the Iranians need to stand up for themselves. And now they are, in the capital of Tehran and all over the country. Hopefully, the mainstream media can stop their biased attack on Donald Trump and actually start reporting on major news that matters. Because this story is a huge one, and they are ignoring it simply because it would show that Donald Trump's policies are actually working. Wake up, America. Wake